We are in the premises. You want to see something very interesting?
Yeah.
Look what happens when I park the car, okay?
Is he asking you to turn the car around
Yeah.
and park it like the other cars in the row are?
Because there is an order of the way you park here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Here in the premises of Tata Motors. Gentlemen, welcome to Meet the Leaders. There is a particular way in which you get to park the car here. It's about doing things the right way. It's about putting in the order, and it's about having certain values. We are going to meet the man, Mr. Shailesh Chandra,
Shailesh Chandra.
and we're going to be talking all things Tata Motors. Okay, so this is the day that we've been waiting for. Today is an auspicious day because today we come here also to congratulate you. And just to set the context a bit, Tata Motors probably has one of the biggest foresights for the Indian market.
First compact sedan, Indigo CS. First SUV, you could say, with the Fumo. First lifestyle SUV, Sierra.
Yeah.
First micro SUV,
The Punch now.
Punch. And of course, then with the EVs. So I think 50 lakh cars.
5 million. It all culminated to this 50 lakh smiles, right? Are you perhaps wearing the biggest smile today?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, this has been a journey which has been tremendous. Started with the vision of Mr. Tata, who always took very challenging things for Tata Motors. And if you just see from outside, it would be that we consciously created segments, right?
Yeah.
But if you see from Mr. Tata's lens, it was about something that the nation deserves and it is not there. So why an Indian customer should not have an experience of SUV? So that is how Safari came. He had a certain observation on the streets of India where he thought about nano as an idea, right? Compact sedan came out with an opportunity which was there in the regulation. So, you know, why not come with an affordable sedan for a buyer? So I think that is how the whole journey has progressed, and we are too proud to have created new segments, including the EVs.
You're at the pinnacle of it. More than 5,000 EVs sold last month.
We should have crossed about 70,000 in total since the inception.
Wow.
And we are happy that at least we have made many other players also consider getting into electrification. So, yeah, it's been a great journey for us.
Once again, mighty congratulations, Shailesh, for this number. It's a wonderful feat. And you know, the best part of it is every Indian feels like being a part of this journey all over the years, over the 50 lakh cars that you've sold. And so there's a sense of pride associated, right, when we talk about Tata Motors. Every Indian is going to ask this question now, what's the journey going to look like for the next 50 lakh cars for us Indians?
For example, will I be driving around in a Tata convertible with wind in my hair? Metaphorical, of course.
You're not thought, but you're forcing us to think now. Yeah, I think we need that for people like you. And maybe me also. At one stage, I would also need that. So yes, next 5 million, I see that at least 25-30% of the 5 million should be electric. That's what I am keeping my fingers crossed. These would be cars which would be like software on wheels. Bigger cars like 4.3 meter, 4.6 meter, and a lot of electric vehicles. As we have said that next 5 years we are planning to bring 10 electric cars. So of course the next 5 million is going to be a mix of all these. Right. So more greener, more safer, and more exciting ones.
Right.
But you have forced us to consider this option, which I will absolutely actively consider this.
An electric cabriolet.
Okay.
That would be perfect, isn't it?
Speaking of autonomous driving, we've spent some time driving the ADAS cars, ADAS equipped Harrier Safari. Do you think AI is coming onto the cars? And they said once giants will walk the earth once again, and we will have to be living with them. Cars equipped with AI, the giants here in this line?
As I said, cars driven by software and AI ML is going to be a very integral part of it.
Yeah.
Cars will anticipate things faster than what you even start thinking. So I think that is going to be the future. Unfortunately, less control that you will have on your cars.
Yeah.
So it has both the sides. So one, it makes things convenient, but at the same time you start feeling a bit ignored.
Yeah, that's not necessarily a bad thing, because we've been driving around the Safari and the Harrier over the last week. I try to sort of ram Rohan from the back. carefully, but I tried to ram him from the back, and the car wouldn't let me do it.
The forward collision
Probably.
warning, what he means is with the Safari, he's trying to run into the Harrier from the back.
Correct.
And then there's also autonomous emergency braking
Yes,
happening.
yes.
Great fun we have with Tata cars on our channel. Karan Singh was trying to propose
To a girl with a punch. So this is interesting stuff.
Let's not talk about ourselves.
Yeah, I think we should go back. Okay, yeah, we should, I think, head back to...
Our audience here is a cohort of very young, vibrant opinion leaders as well as students of technology, cars, science. When they listen to you, they want to aspire to be, like you. So what you're going to say now is literally to our audience in terms of,
I think I'll bring you a little nervous.
So-
I think that gets us to our first question. Is it?
please.
At your first job interview, for example, did you get nervous?
My first job interview was actually Tata Motors.
Oh, really?
I graduated from IIT BHU, and this was my campus job when I was in my 7th semester. I was definitely very nervous because Tata Motors, that time it was called Telco, was my dream job, and therefore the stakes were very high. And you had to face a panel of 5 very senior people. Some were like you, Cyrus, with no hair, but some of them were very stern in their look. These guys are like 20, 30 years experience, so I don't know, I should just be talking sense. I was just praying for that, whatever happens is fine. But as you got into the interview, they made you feel comfortable like you are doing. But at the start, so many things go in the mind. Oh, if they ask me this question, that question, or certain questions which I have not prepared myself for, what happens? So yes, I was nervous at that point in time. Now I'm nervous in this interview because I'm less nervous in formal interviews because I know every time people ask the same question. So really the answer is already leaked. So, if there is a particular decision which is going to be taken in an interview, which is going to be of high stake for you, it makes you nervous.
Makes you nervous, yes.
Yes, or you're facing a big crowd and you fear that you can at times talk something stupid and then your impression goes for a toss. The extent of nervousness that you used to have earlier versus now is definitely come down, I would say.
Got it. But the takeaway here is that it's okay to be nervous. It's okay for me to be nervous here, so you don't really have to be going around scolding me for being that. Were you a topper student? Were you like creme de la creme of the students in your class?
Basically, what he's asking is, were you the exact opposite of me? Was very bad at education.
Again, we're not talking about ourselves.
So it's a very interesting journey for me. Pretty much tale of two halves, I would say. Till class 7th, I really hated studies. Very average in everything. I don't remember why, but all of a sudden my inclination for science went up significantly, and I loved, reading anything, encyclopedia and all, and that is when my interest went up. And since then I started doing well. On engineering, I was DR2, we call DR is departmental rank 2. So that's why I say tale of two halves, weak student and then a really good student later on.
I turn around entirely.
People talk about this turnaround of Tata Motors, exponential increase.
That it's come back from a slump or
But
something.
was it ever a slump? Because if you go back a decade, I had the Bolt back then.
It was souped up, tuned.
Yeah, 130 horsepower, quick car. But back then, cars were still selling. You're still selling well. Of course, you're now much nicer in terms of where you are closing in on your
Rivals.
competitors really quickly. Is this a bounce back story?
I would say to a great extent that might be true. In the 25 years journey, there has been a very difficult phase of 6-7 years. There was a lull in the market. We came with a series of products which did not do as well as the first generation of products. If you remember the period when we launched Indica, Indigo, CS, Sumo, Safari, those were the days where we sold really well. Then there was a phase where we did not sell that well. But one thing was always there, that customers never forgot us. They were still buying Tata cars because anybody who had experienced a Tata car, they were very confident about cars because they are safe, and that always gave us the confidence that we can bounce back.
Right.
I think when we came with the set of exciting cars that you see today, it helped us really rebound back in the last 3 years. Just see the numbers I'm saying, from a 4.5% market share to 14%, 4 times growth in 3 years, where industry would have grown 15 to 20. There's still a journey to go, but we have reached a level where we can dream of thriving in future. That is how I see.
You talked about exciting cars. I'm just going to briefly sort of elaborate. It makes me think about stuff that Tata would do when I was younger. Indica Turbo, the Safari when it came out, or the Sierra when it came out. It's just like, something completely different. It wasn't stuff that you saw on Indian roads. You know what? The one that I really like, the dark edition cars, the blacked out stuff.
Really?
That nobody's done that in the past, and
Correct.
people are now doing it because Tata has been so successful at it. What's the sort of thought process behind these sort of different things that Tata does?
I was in college when Sierra would have come. Even Safari, when I was conceived, I would have just joined the company by then. Frankly, it was adjacent to our commercial vehicle. If we were making a pickup, we experimented, with all the common parts that we had a pickup to make a car. But I think it was the exposure of Mr. Tata to the global world and his passion for cars, which made him experiment with these kind of cars, that why it should not be also offered in the Indian market, why we only see these kind of cars. So one is that. You talked about dark, so we were seeing that the customer profile is changing a lot, right? First typical buyers of cars were more around 40 years, 45 years age. You can point it to me, it's fine. Now the car buyers are 65% or less than 35 years. And therefore, they are very different customers, right? They are very confident in their lives. They are not seeing cars as, an object to move from point A to point B.
Yes.
It is like they wear a watch, the kind of watch they wear, the kind of phone they use, the kind of clothes they wear. They need to be seen in a certain kind of car, which is consistent with all the other things that they consume. Whole hoodie culture, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in one of the AGMs, the annual general meeting of Tata, one of the shareholders say, why you came with dark? It is not good for the climatic conditions that we have in India, but it sells.
It's
Right.
cool.
It sells, it's
Yeah.
cool.
Now, if Cyrus can stop asking questions and stop hogging all the questions himself, let me come back to the topic of getting to know you here. When you were growing up, did you know what you were going to be? Did you have that foresight too? Do young guys, when they are in colleges today, should they have that idea? Okay, I want to be this, or is that being too rigid? And should one be flexible?
No, I had no idea where I was going, but one thing was clear, that my father had decided that you have to become an engineer. Fortunately for me, in my childhood, I used to play with a lot of toys, and mainly the cars. And I was always curious to break it and see what was inside.
Oh, really?
So therefore, the love for cars was since then. And I don't know whether I should be saying this or not. I was just 14 years when I first drove the Ambassador.
Oh, really? Yeah.
But it was in the field, so it was not unsafe.
so that's
In a controlled environment,
Controlled environment.
like the word.
But that is the first time when I drove the car, and I was very excited about it.
So you love driving?
Yes.
That's interesting.
I didn't know that I have to become an automobile engineer. I have to join an auto company. I didn't know that. But yes, I did like cars, and especially seeing what's inside it.
You discovered yourself on the way in this journey of yours. And in this journey of yours, have there been any heroes that inspired you a whole lot to shape up the journey?
No, there's no particular idol. I would say that there are many different aspects of different people that I've tried to pick. A lot from my father in terms of his value system, the way he thinks. A lot from a lot of senior people have worked within the Tata group. I've seen Mr. Tata very closely. I have worked with a person like Mr. Ravi Kant. I'm working very closely now with the current chairman. All have shown me different perspectives and how they think. So a lot of inspiration comes from there. So you pick different things. I'm saying that I don't go by one idol, and there are so many inspiring people in the world. Why don't you pick smaller things from them?
What a great answer. Would you hire us? I just
Straight to there, are we?
I
I thought we'd do that later.
You want me to be politically correct or
No, we don't want it to be politically correct.
No, I'm not going to hire you. I could think of Cyrus in the testing area.
Yes.
You love
to
cars,
do that. I love
that is very evident. And I can really make you the head of my customer service.
Thank you, sir. I would love to make that experience special for the customers.
Just to be a bit polite, I said that. But all right, this is how I.
All right, so the answer is no, actually. Okay, we get it. Tata Motors created the most amount. Am I right in saying this?
most
the
amount
most
of
amount
noise,
of
for
noise at Auto Expo with the products, with the experience out there of just being at the pavilion, and we saw the Sierra EV, and that's where the question here is coming from, because you look like untouchable there. But is there someone that you think is going to come out, maybe from the garage, two founders who are working in a garage and then suddenly have a great vehicle? Or is it going to be a large-scale OEM?
No, it is very much possible. It is a phase where we are the only player in the market. And yes, we have a very aggressive plan of coming with 10 products. There will be enough choices for the customers. But competition is going to come. There's no doubt about that. Today, if I speak, we have already 700 million kilometers of experience in the Indian market, and that matters a lot. And that helps us make our cars more reliable, more efficient. Being ahead on the learning curve is definitely a unique advantage that we will have. There will be disruptions. We can't deny that. I think the way we see is that we'll fight it out for our leadership position. We'll try to bring the best what we can for the consumers in the country, and that should give us chance to retain our leadership position. But yes, any manufacturer which is serious is definitely going to take the share of the pie,
Right.
and which is fine because the pie size grows. The cake is
Cake is
growing
larger.
bigger in size. Yeah.
When you say we will fight it out, there's so much of energy behind that. What does a day look like in the life of Shailesh Chandra? Is it full of energy? Does it start at 3 a.m., 4 a.m.? Are you a 5 a.m. club guy? And the follow-up question to that is, you're the managing director of pretty much passenger vehicles, EV passenger vehicles, of a large portfolio here at Tata Motors. What does the designation mean to you personally?
Let me answer the second question
Yeah.
first. I think, this is a company which I'm leading has a very strong legacy, right? And that position give me a feeling of gratitude first that I have been given that big responsibility. At the same time, it gives a feeling of having enough power to influence a lot of things, and to the extent that you can influence and change things at a nation level. The thinking is aligned to what is right for the nation is what we
The
should
son
be
of
doing.
soil reputation that
Correct.
you enjoy.
That gives a lot of opportunity, that gives a lot of autonomy, freedom to influence things in the auto industry. It comes with a lot of responsibility of not only leading the company to newer heights, but also responsibility to people and the stakeholders. So it's a mixed bag, I would say. Coming to the 3 a.m. question, many people have convinced me, why don't you wake up at 4 a.m. and then do Surya Namaskar, then you will feel very energetic. But what do you do when you sleep at 1 a.m.? I wake up at 6:30. 15 minutes I would do some quick exercise. 7:45 I would be out to the office if I'm in Bombay. That I would use to either talk to my parents, that commute time, and then read newspapers. Then I keep about half an hour time when I reach office to plan my day.
Okay.
And then the back-to-back meetings would start, and those meetings would be
Right.
of very different kinds, right? From a human resource topic to a very technical topic to a very finance topic, so it varies a lot.
Unreal.
You would be meeting external stakeholders also. And then you'll leave at around say 6:30.
Oh.
Pretty good 1 hour drive where you can relax. I
Right.
love music, so I listen to music, or some of the mails I would clear, reach home, and then 1 hour I spend in walking. Then I clear my mails because I would not have got time, so the day would end at around 10:30. Then I would again, see the news, watch something on OTT.
What's the funniest customer interaction you've had?
There have been very interesting interactions, but one was really very interesting. This was, I think, in Delhi, where there was a person very silent, and then when that person started speaking, he was so dramatic, looked like a Bollywood actor. The way he spoke, he used, very interesting lines, shairi and all. Then Nexon EV he bought, and then he said that is gaadi mein class hai aur ek behtareen ehsaas hai. I said, wow. Then he said that मेरी सर सोसाइटी में इज्जत बढ़ गई. मतलब मैं जब उस गाड़ी में चलता था और अभी लोग मुझसे बातें करते हैं, मुझसे पूछते हैं. I was genuinely happy for that customer. The insight that you get in that one day is equivalent to the insight that I get by spending 10 crore with a consultant. So
Tremendous.
I think we're not asking you many tough questions. It's time we dial it up a bit.
what were you whispering?
Will the race more return? It's a question everyone's asking because we want it to return. Will it return?
Let's see. We don't know because if you remember, Racemo was an idea which came with in times where people were looking for very powerful, sportier vehicle and all. We can think of bringing an electric maybe later on, not a gas guzzling.
Electric cabriolet. I'm gonna credit myself with that idea.
But you have again given an idea which I need to think about. So let me go back and think.
The rumor that we've heard Okay, Tata Motors, JLR, possible split, possible let go. Is it a rumor? Is it
Fact or
fact?
fiction?
Since I don't know, it is a rumor for sure. I have no clue about this, so I can't imagine a reason why we would.
Okay, I think we're going to sort of go back to asking him questions.
People are wanting more and more of your cars, and there are issues on your long waiting periods.
No, I think we have done a tremendous work in managing the semiconductor crisis, and I
Right,
think
that's connected, yeah.
we were the manufacturers which supplied most cars in the toughest period when we were facing supply chain issues. There was a period where waiting periods were like 9 months, 12 months.
Yeah.
That has come down to 8 weeks to 3 months. So
It
I
has,
think
huh?
yes.
Okay.
Except for 1 or 2 models, say for example in electric there is a slightly longer waiting period, but otherwise 3 months maximum waiting period that we would have.
Right. What was your first car?
Of course, the first car was gifted by my father, which he was using. It was a
Right.
second hand, and he
Right.
bought a new car. So, but then I bought my own car, and that first car was Indica V2.
Should
I
go
think
to-
we are coming to the end of our interaction. When you're creating winning products, there is a great team behind it. What do you look for in people in creating this winning team?
Team requires different kind of people, right? And they are not the same, right? All fingers are different, so but all are needed. But the people who I love to work with and hire are people who have high aspiration, and they are obsessed about it. Because see, having aspiration is just a dream, but doing that does not translating into action is of no use. And I'm imagining some of the people who I have in mind.
Right.
They are obsessed about those aspirations, and that you can see in the actions. In
Relentless.
Hindi word we call junoon. Along with that, you need the competency and capability to do that. That has to be at a certain hygiene level. So anybody who has combination of all these three things, which you two have, I think are the
We know the
people.
name sometimes.
He said no to you, and Junoon to tum hai hi nahi. matlab. Haan, so yeah,
Rapid fire time?
Yes, please go.
Okay.
Who do you like more, Cyrus or Rohan?
Is there an option none?
No.
Sorry.
It's rapid fire. You have to choose one.
Cyro,
please me.
Cyro.
This is like one of those Bollywood couple scenes,
This
right?
is the most innovative answer
I
I've
have
heard
ever
today.
had. Yeah.
Cyro. All right, we'll take that as an answer. Thank you, Cyrus. Go for the next.
Okay, looks or performance?
Looks,
Books or movies?
movies,
Sachin or Sehwag?
Sachin,
Range Rover or Defender?
Defender,
Oh, I
was a
couldn't
quick question.
complete my question.
Cricket or football?
cricket,
SUV or sedan?
SUV,
Car or motorcycle?
car,
V8 or EV?
EV,
Talent or experience?
talent,
Wow.
Digital or analog?
digital.
I think that brings
We've
us to
run
the
out of-
end of our rapid fire round.
Yeah.
That was a quick Defender answer though.
Shailesh, sir, thank you so much for your time.
Wait.
If this, yes.
One question, last, final.
Oh God.
If you were a car concierge and you had to decide between the Tata Motors portfolio for Rohan and for me, what are the two cars you would choose?
Tough question.
Red, hot, dark, Harrier for him. Nexon EV for you.
Nexon EV for me.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Look at you. You're not even wearing a jacket. You're progressive. You're all
Yeah,
about
yeah,
being
yeah.
young. Yeah. Look at you.
Dark version.
Dark version. Okay.
If there is one message that you want to give to our audience, to people who are aspiring to be like you or your prospective customers, let's end it on that.
So the only message, Rohan, Cyrus, I would be that first it is important to live your values, right? At times, we have aspiration in life and we know that there are many ways of meeting those aspirations. But never compromise your values to meet those aspirations. I think this is the message which I would like to give because that is what creates trust in people around you.
Tremendous.
And that is very essential to grow in any field, I would say. And that would be my message, at least that's my experience.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
again, congratulations. 50 lakh cars, 50 lakhs
5 million,
smiles, 5 million subscribers.
5 million subscribers in our parlance.